So if you could please log into Mentimeter. So if you type in menti.com and use the code that you see up here and help us answer this question. Typically, there's a disconnect between what individuals across campus think know what we do versus what we actually do and what type of services we provide students. So our office is on a mission to kind of identify, okay, what does the Stockton community think we do versus what we actually do? So before we get started, if you can log into menti.com, the code is 12320032. You can see it all to the top there. And the question is, what do you believe CED, the Office of Career Education Development, offers the Stockton community? Thank you. No idea. That's okay too. Awesome. Thank you. So we see connections and networking, support collaboration, job boards, no idea, and that's okay. Support, internship readiness, career readiness, assistance, resume help. So we have a follow-up question. What do you believe CED could offer the Stockton community? Because we also get a lot of suggestions. It'll pick up when we change the question. Mentimeter picks up.
That wasn't what I was supposed to say.
I was going to say that's a good one.
I like skills, but
Can you type in again?
1 credit.
no,
Thank you for the 1 credit. That's a dream.
Yeah.
That's a long-term dream goal. I'm not sure who set the 1 credit academic
We're
course.
with all of these things.
Yes. Certification on be out in the community. Headshot.
It would have been twice. It was
FYI, headshots are coming October 2024. And we will talk about that. We're super excited. Marketing. Okay.
supporting enrollment.
Awesome. Thank you. So we'll also share a screenshot of these answers with you when we share out the PowerPoint presentation. Mm-hmm. So thank you for, was any of this surprising for anyone on either slide? I'm actually in a good way surprised by the one credit academic course. I'm not surprised by the program marketing. We try our best, but I think we can definitely enhance in that area. And the certification and non-academic, I would like to know a little bit more about that. But thank you. So we'll jump right in. Anything else?
Stop share and share.
Okay.
No, and these are great intro questions because we are, of course, going to highlight a lot of our services, share what's coming new, like the headshots, and give you information about the new direction we're going in under our new leadership with Sofia and Rosaria. So I'll start by just sharing a little bit more about our team.
Sorry, share the screen.
So we like to say we're a small but mighty team. This is us, a family of 5, right? So we have between us all more than 50 years of industry experience, whether it's human services, career services, employer relations. We have a lot of variety in our past that got us all to Stockton. And between us all, we have more than 30 years of combined service to the institution. Our team is highly skilled and certified in career services. So we have licensed counselors on our team. We have global career development facilitators, which is not just nationally recognized, it's an international credential for career professionals. We all are members of the National Association of Colleges and Employers. You'll hear us talk a lot about that. That's, for those in the academic world, that's like our accrediting body, right? That is the professional association that we use and look to for guidance on standards and the work that we do. We're also members of our regional career association, which is the Eastern Association of Colleges and Employers. And between them, a lot of us do serve as committee members or chairs of committees, things like that. And we also are members of the National Association of Career Development. And our team, specifically Sofia, has been recognized by Handshake, which is our career management platform, as a spotlight recognition last year. So we have myself and Sofia. And then if you haven't met yet, we have Rosaria, who's our associate director, Patrick Burns, our assistant director, and Letitia Peterson, who's also here live.
So most of our team's here.
Director. So that is our team. We all have different functions of supporting the operations, but again, because of the size of our team, we have to work very collaboratively and support each other with a lot of the initiatives. And Sofia will talk more about our restructure as we move forward. Yep.
Thank you, Dayna. So I'm going to jump right into the first destination survey. Anyone in the room familiar with FPS? Oh, wow. Okay, one. Okay, so the first destination survey, which you'll begin to hear a lot more about throughout the year, and it's where our goal is to continue to expand on the FPS surveys. So the first destination survey is used to capture information about where our graduates are headed 6 months post-graduation. So most programs for accreditation require, to know where our students are going. We're starting to see this more and more for some accreditations. Our office has been receiving a lot more inquiries about, hey, do you know where our students are going? We need this data, we need this information. The university is required by law, all universities are required to share out, our post-graduation success for students. And this helps families identify, okay, is this investment, is it worth, our family investing in this institution, this program? So this is not new to Stockton. Actually, the Office of Career Education Development has been collecting data for, I think I can track it back to 2011. Dayna, I'm not sure if before that we've tracked, but I know that the office has been actively collecting information since 2011. During COVID, the office did take a hit with the response rate. So we are working, very hard to increase the response rate and the knowledge rate. So there's a difference between the two. Response is directly hearing from the student, and then the knowledge base is information that we're able to collect either through LinkedIn, either through a faculty member, or a database that can give us the most current and updated information about the student. So how does this benefit the institution? How does this benefit your program? So recently, we've been working with the Office of Institutional Research to redesign the dashboard for presenting this data. So I believe last year for class of 2021, our numbers were very low. We weren't even able to report. 2022 was pretty low as well. We had about 24% response rate. And for class of 2023, I'm really excited to share that we have reached 49.9%. So we're able to report and actually display our data on our website. We've worked with institutional research to reimagine our dashboard. Our previous dashboard was not user-friendly. It wasn't, it didn't have enough sparkle for families and students to navigate the information. So we have worked with IR, we have revamped the dashboard, and you now have access to this information via the institutional research fact book. And I know in the previous slide, I added QR codes and you can access the data directly. So you're able to filter through the data based on the year, education level. So I know we report on undergrad and graduate students as well, ethnicity, gender, and major. So Dayna is still filtering through some of the data. And then it'll give you the type of employment. So, what percentage of the students landed an opportunity, 6 months within their post-graduation. It'll also track salary. So this will also help you support, share with students the type of dollars that students are earning after, landing an opportunity after Stockton. It filters by location as well, so you can see where our graduates are headed. It also captures post-graduation plans. So are they going to directly to graduate school? And also captures how many of those students are staying at Stockton. We also ask students, to what extent do you feel Stockton University prepared you for your career post-graduation? So we're not asking is CED preparing you, we're asking how do they feel about Stockton University as a whole. And then this last slide will show the different trend in data. So this information is available to you. Please feel free to utilize it however you see fit. Our long-term goal is to be able to provide post-graduation outcomes for all programs so that you can display that on your website. You can use it, in your course material to help students, identify different opportunities and make more informed decisions about their major and their outcomes. Any questions about FBS?
Do you need any kind of help pushing that out? Or no?
Yeah, so that's where we're getting to.
Okay,
Thank you. So helping us improve the FBS data collection. So you don't have to do anything other than promote the survey, share it out, share communication out to students. If you're leading a senior seminar or someone who's leading a senior seminar, they can simply reach out to us. We have all types of marketing ready for either syllabi and email, Blackboard. I'm able to provide that information for you. It's really just a plug and play. We're trying to make that as easy as possible for faculty and staff across campus. It's simply just a link to Handshake, and it's really on the student. But what we really need on our end is buy-in from our community to continue to help us, extend our reach. And I'm glad we had that photo up front when we first started. As you can see, we're just a team of 5. So the more reach we have and the more partnerships and collaborations we work on, the stronger our data and the stronger the collection will become. Once we collect all of the information, we do submit it to NACE, the National Association for Colleges and Employers, and they send back a report on how do we fare against other institutions. So not only do we see where our students are headed, the type of salary, we're also able to identify for those students who, and I think Sarah was here earlier, we also reach out to the students who reported that they have not landed an opportunity. We reach out and remind them that they also have, services available to support them. So it's not just for data, it's also to identify how do we support our students, how do we get them jobs.
Yeah, can I just comment on this? Because I know we have a lot of non-academic friends in the room. So thinking of the ways that you engage with students, maybe you're hosting an end of the year celebration for your student workers who are graduating. That might be an opportunity, for you to connect with students about this, because you're learning about what their post-graduation plans, or you oversee clubs and organizations. And I know you all have a variety of touch points with students. So if you hear of a really great story of someone succeeding after graduation or knowing their plans, whatever it might be, we also ask our partners across campus to share out this information.
What graduation?
So we used to do paper and pen at graduation, and then we would input the data, but the system has changed that it's not really feasible for us to do that way.
An iPad or an
iPad would be the other option. Yeah.
and they stand in line for like
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Yes. We do it at grad finale. We have some computers set up there. That's the first space, but graduation would be another way to expand it. The next piece we wanted to touch upon, of course, we keep mentioning National Association of Colleges and Employers, also known as NACE. It is the professional association that does guide the work that we do in our office. And they've identified 8 career competencies that students should develop throughout their time at college or university, and with the help of faculty in the institution and the career services department, all working together to find spaces where students can enhance and develop these skills. I like them for the faculty in the classroom today in the session to take a look at the competencies. I think they really resonate with the essential learning outcomes that we already have established. So in some ways, we're already doing this work. And then for our non-academic partners, you're also being asked to create ways in which students are growing and developing their professional skills. And so if you don't already have language attached to that in job descriptions or in your trainings with student workers, this is a common place of finding language that we can all be using right institutionally to make sure students recognize these are the competencies that they're learning in the classroom, in addition to their discipline area that they're studying or the work that they're doing in different departments. So we have some handouts here. We often use these for different workshops and presentations in the classroom. And on the one side is all the competencies with descriptions. I know I've worked with students and done workshops where they filled in the empty squares and they've identified where these competencies have shown up in their employment spaces or in their academic setting. Because sometimes they just need support identifying the language that is the skill that they know that they've been developing, right? So we bring that into the classroom and into different workshop settings.
So a little bit about this poster you see here. Last year's EOF Academy, Natisha presented to the students, and she did a workshop on how to identify the different competencies and ways that students can work towards enhancing those competencies and setting goals. So that's what you see here. And then they're able to either hang it up in their dorm room, they're able to visit this, revisit it, and it's become a little popular. I know we're getting more inquiries about this piece here. So Career Champions. Career Champions is a model at many institutions where they educate their community on different, for example, the needs competencies and different ways that the community can work together to enhance career readiness, to support what's already happening on our campus, collaborating. So this is a term that you're going to start seeing from our office more often now. It's career champions. And we're moving away from career communities because honestly, our team just doesn't have the numbers to support that model. It's a model that was originally established for a team of 7 or 8, and we're down to a team of 5 with 3 career counselors and liaisons. So we're moving into a career cluster model where it's available for students. The information is there. They're able to see the different career paths and how those align. But however, we're not able to service at that scale and the way we would like to pour into career communities. So we have moved towards a liaison model where you have an individual at each of the schools that will support and provide programming, will provide resources, will provide more of a consultation if needed. So, and I know Dayna will definitely, we're going to go over 2 different scenarios and what that will look like for you if you're interested.
Yeah, and congratulations, you're all coined career champions here today. Thank you, you're our inaugural class. We appreciate your support. Right? All right, so are you ready to take the next step?
Yes.
Yay! All right, great. So I'm going to share with you 2 examples of a liaison relationship. One is from my partnership as a liaison to the School of Arts and Humanities, supporting the Communication Studies program. I say this, what I'm going to say is what I say to students when I'm presenting, and I'll message it as much as I can because I recognize that everybody in this room right now, we know that your bandwidth is tight. We know that you're asked to do, and do. We recognize the restrictions and the challenges that we have on our campus, not to mention we all have our out of Stockton life that is on our plate as well. So recognizing that everyone's plate is full, right? Our office really wants to try to be as strategic and concise as possible when doing our work within academic and non-academic programs, right? And this is what's going to be an example of that. So when I worked with the Communication Studies program, where does it start, right? It starts with the liaison having a conversation with the program. And that can be, every program's different. It could be with the program chair. It could be just someone that's really, passionate about career services. It could be a program where maybe there's already an internship or professional development component of the program. So it can start at any of those spaces. But the first thing I approach it, the relationship with is really taking a look at the curriculum, right? How is the curriculum structured? Where is there potentially natural alignment to have career conversation? The last thing we want to do is put something else on your plate as faculty and staff. And the last thing we would want is for students to feel like they have to do one more thing, right, outside of the classroom. When we know that they're working, they're navigating changes in their own life. They have all their class work, in their majors complete already. So this is where, again, we really try to tighten it up and be as intentional and concise as possible. So with the Communication Studies program, after reviewing the curriculum, we looked at, okay, every single student in this program takes these classes, right? Is there an opportunity to build in a career component? Maybe, maybe not. We're not there yet, right? But we're talking about it. Everybody in this program is required to do an internship. What does that look like? What semester is that? How are students prepared to identify and secure that internship? What are the common questions that we're getting, right, when it comes time to that internship semester? So we're looking at the big picture, the life cycle of the academic program, the life cycle of the student's experience. We're asking questions about what does your program already offer, right? In the case of the Communication Studies program, They do an annual meet and greet in the beginning of the semester, and they do a wrap-up program at the end of the semester for students. They do an annual spotlight lecture series, right? So again, working smarter, not harder. Can we consider collaborating in some of these spaces instead of creating something new? So these conversations are happening. We're talking about, well, what are the needs based on that life cycle of the curriculum? What are the expectations for students, et cetera? And with this particular program, we recognize, wow, everybody's coming to us during drop ad or course registration saying, I can't register into this internship class, right? Or where's my internship, right? So there was a lot of disconnect between how information was getting out there to students about what it meant to enter that experience that semester. So we kind of had to back it up, several semesters and said, okay, if we're requiring this as a part of the program, where are we prepping students to be prepared for that? And so we said, these are some of the skills and things that we need to do in terms of making sure that they're updated on their resume, communicating who they are and what they have to offer. Do they know how to source out and identify opportunities? Where is that being taught or discussed? At what level during the lifespan of their curriculum? And then if we're saying it's required, right, the employer relationship and support is another piece of that, right? So how are we developing relationships with employers, identifying new opportunities, maintaining relationships with employers to help pull all of these things together? So we're having those conversations, and then we're putting some strategies into place. And this grows year after year after year, right? So we started with looking at that curriculum and finding those spaces. So in the Communication Studies program, there is an Intro to Mass Communication course, which is one of the foundational courses for the program. So we set up what we call a networking boot camp. And that is where students attend the session during the class module, right? So we're not taking them and asking them to come at a different day and time. We're building it into the curriculum, and we're bringing and we're inviting other classes. It's open to anybody, but we're focused on that one class specifically. And we're bringing industry professionals in and alumni professionals in to station 4 different tables to teach communication skill sets that are relevant in this professional space that will give them foundational skills and introduction, to things that they will need throughout the internship search process. And that has become a staple in that program, and it's offered every semester. We also looked to engagement with, like I said, things that they're already doing. So like the meet and greets and the wrap-up events. Is it appropriate for myself to be represented there from the career ed space? Yes, sometimes maybe not. Or is it more beneficial that maybe I have an employer partner that I can support being there to share out information to those students and for networking purposes? So there's, some variety there. We also work with the PRSSA, which is the Public Relations Students Club, and the Society of Professional Journalism to do a joint meeting every semester on a career topic. And that's the student space where they're really self-motivated to create that program and work with me on a topic that they want to have represented there. And so that's the starting point, right? But then we thought bigger, and we used some models from other programs, specifically our hospitality program, that helped lay the foundation for some of this other work where you see under short-term and long-term goals, right? So we're doing what we can in the spaces that we have control over and building with those champions, right? Those relationships. And then we decided to take it a step further. Again, in this space, faculty are saying, the institution is saying, parents and guardians and support people are saying at open houses and events, asking all these questions about career and what can I do and all of those things. And, we want to make sure that we have strong answers and support to address those concerns and those questions. So we're able to identify a need again to get these students ready for this required class, right? So what we were doing in the classroom in these clubs was a starting point, but we needed something sustainable, something long-term that would touch every single student in the lifespan of their curriculum in that major. So we created a 0 credit professional development class. And this is a requirement for all students in the communication studies program. They're encouraged to take it within their first or second year. And this is where they get an introduction to goal setting and career competencies, starting to identify what they think they may want to do with their career. So there's some career exploration, some self-guided, not a heavy lift because it's a 0 credit work that they're going to be doing. Then our office works with them on the other assignment, which is the resume writing piece, right? So we offer lots of different ways that they can get support, from virtual resources to annual programs like our Resume Rush, to myself offering a couple of sessions that students can identify if they want to participate in or not. And then we give them information on some career internship searching tools, and provide them an overview of our Handshake career management platform and get them onboarded with that. So again, it's not a heavy lift, but it's starting to get them to think about their own career goal setting, starting to think about what are my potential internship opportunities, what does that look like? And we are helping them develop new skills like the resume writing skill and the job searching skill, getting them ready for that required semester. Sorry, no more. And then that went from an optional course to a required course for that program. And then this, of course, only works if our champions are supporting it, right? So then it's taking this approach, these strategies to the programs, and talking through what will work, what won't work, what's our time frame look like, and all of the things, and reassessing and moving it forward year after year. And then this is just, developing on that, some other things that we can do with the studies program specifically. We've asked their faculty to endorse career education on their syllabus in the same way that you provide information about the Learning Access Program and other resources, right? Is there a space there for you to say the Communication Studies program fully endorses the use of career education and development services, and then incorporate our mission there? We talked about embedding into the curriculum sequence, annual programming. What are we already doing? We're not looking to do something more, put more on anyone's plate. I fully recognize that not every classroom has space for career content, and we're okay with that too. I'll give you some examples of other ways that we were able to incorporate career content into the program. Clubs and organizations, using our campus community, and then working closely with, whether it's the liaison for the school and our associate director, and building an employer relations process and goal that's going to support your program, is something else that we hope to support.
And the employer relations piece is growing for our office. It's an area that kind of just lived with the assistant directors before Rosaria and I came on board. So with Rosaria now, we have a point of contact and someone who can streamline the process and be the face of career ed, and then be able to funnel into different areas, the different employers. So one of our goals, and I think so far we've done pretty well. All of our we've implemented sponsorships for the career fair. So all the dollars that we receive from sponsorships we utilize those dollars to get the employers in front of students and to support programming across the institution. So some examples of what we've done with the sponsorship dollars that we receive. We supported programming at the Multicultural Center. We've supported health science panel for students to figure out different career paths, and we work closely with that school. And there's so many ways that we are funneling the dollars back into the programs, the schools, and the students. So our office, we really are en route to build a model that, the dollars that we receive, we really want to put it back into our community. So, and into resources through our employer sponsorships and career fair revenue, we've been able to upgrade our resources for our students. We're going to launch Focus 2, which is a career planning toolkit for our students that will be going live in a few weeks. Through an employer sponsorship, thanks to Dayna's relationship with Enterprise, we've secured a $5,000 grant, and half of those funds went to establishing the headshot booth, which is all very nice equipment that I know nothing about, but I know that our team has worked closely with URM to identify the proper equipment, train our students. So we're putting those dollars back into our services and our resources to enhance our students' experience. So if you have, a program in mind or a way that you would like to collaborate with our office, we can, figure out, okay, how do we fund this? Who's the, find an employer? And Rosaria, one of the things that, one of her strengths is really identifying and building a connection between, a campus partner and employer. She's really good at that matchmaking, and that's one of her strengths for sure. So when you think of our office, we're not just here, to support with resumes and cover letters, we're really trying to expand our reach. So when you see those emails coming through, hey, the career fair is coming, do you have any employers interested in doing the career fair? Please send those referrals over, because they really support, everything that we're doing to bring back those resources to the institution. And in addition to the students, and I'll talk a little bit more, to employers, we need to get the students to the fair. So we'll talk about that later.
So this is just some examples of programming that I've done with communication studies. So I talked about the networking boot camp last year, and actually this year it's falling on Halloween. So we changed it into the not so spooky networking boot camp. There's trick-or-treating involved. We want our students to recognize that the word career they can say in a safe space and with little fear, right? And they can practice these skills. We all recognize that they're new to them. So just like what they're learning in the classroom, they're being taught that skill, most of them for the first time. And this example of a collaborative program with the student clubs and organizations. And that topic is driven specifically by the student club. So that I'm graduating now, what? That's where we did vision boards, using this as our example and tying it into the career competencies. And I cut up a whole bunch of stuff from magazines and things like that. And they were able to, have fun with it. And we were able to craft and chat at the same time. And this is an example of the networking boot camp. The space looks like in the TRLC, and this fall will be in Atlantic City. So I'll briefly also talk about this example. This is how our office may engage with a non-academic department. And the example is from our partnership with student development. So while it's not as clear which liaison they would be assigned to, it depends on, of course, workload and other projects for that semester. But in the early stages of our partnership with student development, I was taking the lead on that. And so I met with our folks over there. And we always have recognized that there's a lot of the same work that we each do in terms of developing students' professional skills, supporting them with communicating the value of what they're doing and their leadership experiences. And so we had a conversation of, well, what are you doing, throughout the year? Is there alignment, again, in what you do and what we do to collaborate, to cross-promote, to see if we can use each other's resources and enhance what we're doing, for the benefit of students. So we've had those conversations, and what it turned into is, again, finding those intentional spaces where we can support each other. And one of the charges for student development is to offer the Leadership Lunch and Learn series, where they cover a variety of topics and they have different guest speakers. So they already have a pool of presenters on certain topics, but there were some holes in their guest list, right? And that's where we could come in and say, well, someone from our team could do this, or we have an alumni that we know that can speak here, or we have a really great employer partner that wants to give back to Stockton and wants to be a good partner and share knowledge about this topic from that partnership perspective, right? And so we work together on building the guest list of speakers for that particular series. And then we talked about, just short-term and long-term goals, like what is, again, the cycle of their semester and their year, and where can we be an intentional part of it. So the Leadership Lunch and Learn became a staple now. We've also, over the last few semesters, worked together to do a 2-day resume rush. So it's over 12 hours of time on campus where students can come in and get a 15-minute resume review prior to the career and internship fair. And of course, in this case, we're again making sure that we're getting the support from our management team to make sure that we're using our resources in terms of our time and our money wisely, and aligning with, big picture department and division and institutional goals, and using, everything smartly. So this is just what it looks like in terms of our partnership. We talked about the Leadership Lunch and Learn. They give us marketing materials. We also work with our event services folks. You guys have it on our calendar of events, right? We're making sure that we're tag teaming each other in promoting pieces. We also have our partnership with Campus Philly that we both financially support and promote opportunities to students, whether that's professional development or leadership development. And through our partnership with student development, they have always taken students to their annual conference in the spring. And then resume writing and different leadership training sessions. Our team has been able to come into those training sessions for student leaders and talk about how to incorporate that experience, the strength of those skill sets on their resume through their clubs and activities. So did you want me to?
Awesome. So we are, we're wrapping up. We have 2 more slides left.
Yep.
So in addition to the liaison role and, how we work with our campus partners, we do offer many, many resources for our students on our website, whether that's career advising, Handshake. I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with Handshake. The Handshake is the university-wide job portal. Right now, Handshake is the premier, job portal for most colleges and universities. It serves more than just, posting a job in an internship. Students have the opportunity to reach out to employers. They can post their resume. They can reach out to their friends or alumni. For example, it's serving more of like a mixture between like a LinkedIn and like a Monster's job being meshed together and had Handshake. So, for example, students can go in there, see reviews about the employer, reach out to folks who work at those companies. They can reach out to our team, schedule an appointment. However, we will be transitioning from Handshake. We're keeping Handshake, but our appointment system is going to move over to EAB in order to, support that launch, track students. We're able to, share notes via EAB. Students can communicate with us directly via EAB. These are all similar features to Handshake. However, as the university moves, with the EAB transition, I want to ensure that CEB is also a part of that. So Handshake will still exist, but students will now schedule appointments with our team using EAB.
Yeah, the EAB coming out of student affairs, but it's also going to be used by
Yes.
Hannah Rodriguez.
Yes, Dr. Our Our assistant vice president, Dr. Edmondson, is leading the EAB transition.
What does EAB stand for?
I know we call it Navigate. I have to see I don't know exactly what EAB stands for at the top of my head.
It's a
Osprey's Navigate.
Osprey's
There
Navigate.
you go.
Sorry.
So it's going to be a new system that they launch for all departments to be able to communicate with each other in terms of note taking and looking up students' profile. So I guess more on the academic side. We've been working.
Sorry, I got it. That was for everyone. However, it's a central location where, we all have access to student data. So right now, if we were to go into the system that we're currently using, you won't see any notes about students' career appointments. You won't see that those students visited the career center. But once we stream over to Osprey's Navigate, when you have access to the system and you look up your student, you'll see if there are any notes from our team. You'll see if they visited the career center. I think you can even see how many times they popped into the career center, and we'll be able to upload more information about, what our office is doing and how we're connecting with students. So I think the transition might be, might present some challenges, but I think long-term, in terms of communication and how do we engage with our students, I think there's definitely a huge benefit to that. Because we'll also be able to see, right now we don't have access to student records because we're utilizing Handshake, but once we transition over, we'll be able to see, what courses the students are taking. We'll be able to have more information to prepare for the student appointment.
So it talks to them.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
To them.
Yes,
That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
I think for some of the faculty members, some of the confusion might be that when you first look at it, it looks a lot like degree work. But the idea, how many classes students take and how they progress in the major, that percentage that they do. But this will take it a step further. And suppose the point is to bring every aspect of their college
Experience.
So yes, it is going to be.
Yes. It would be a process, but I think long term, at least for our office, I think that it's definitely going to serve for, it's going to be more beneficial.
Can I talk about one of these?
Yes.
What's also new with this Osprey Navigate is that we'll have access to this board simulation, which if you're thinking about a curriculum collaboration with our office, this is an opportunity for students to commit 4 to 6 hours of investment in learning about a different career through this virtual simulation platform. So if your students in your programs you find, are really excited about the major and what they're learning, but they can't necessarily articulate, what that translates into career or, work or life after college, this might be an early experience that you can build into your curriculum to give them an opportunity to see what the day in the life of is. So we'll have access to that, which is great for our students.
Career exploration resources. You'll also find Focus 2 under that resource, job and internship search, free headshots coming October 2024, LinkedIn and networking resources. We also encourage students to utilize the Osprey network so they can connect and find a mentor via that network, resume and cover letter, interviewing resources, and of course, career advising appointments. And then you can access our website here. Here's the QR code as well. And I think it's our last slide. So please, send your students to the career fair, whether, you're encouraging it for extra credit, requiring it for your course. In order to continue to drive employers and opportunities to our campus, we have to, have the students attend. And I'm happy to share that last fall, we had over 800 students attend the career and internship fair. And I think in the past few years, that's been the largest group that we've had. We did have a slight dip in the spring. I think we ended up a little under 700. It was a rainy day. There could be many different factors to take, into consideration. However, we did experience a dip. So we're trying to think about it from the customer service experience. If we're charging employers to come to our campus, we have to get our students there. And in order to keep up an upward trend, we need our champions to champion for the career fair. So we've created this sign-in for faculty and campus partners to, register their class to attend the career fair. It also helps us identify, okay, how many faculty are requiring it? How many are offering extra credit? And it does help us, drive that attendance and have a better understanding of what to expect. But also, students listen to our faculty. They really take what you say, and act on that. So if you can please, champion for the career, that'll be very helpful. Share it with your colleagues. And once you complete this form here, if you need any resources, if you need any language for your syllabus or marketing purposes, our office can support with that.
So yeah, just another value of letting us know that your students will be there is making sure we're checking our employer list and we're having representation for employers that meet your students' needs. Depending on the program and the potential time that you're going to come, we can message to the employer partners that this class that has majors that you're seeking is going to be here between this and this time. So there's things on the back end that we can do to make sure the experience is good for everybody. So yeah, let us know.
And thank you for your time. Any questions? I thought we would have like 10 minutes, but any questions?
I just think it's super smart to align with all of the events that are already going on campus where we have 5 students for attendance, and it just makes sense to just kind of be there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So great job.
Yeah. Did you learn anything new about CED today? Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And we have some videos up here for you.
Oh, yeah.